Hello, hello, hello. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball, a very special edition. It's the Rugby League World Cup edition. First and foremost, if you're new, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Yes, I'm doing this on my own. I thought, I may as well try and change up a bit. In saying that, again, thank you and welcome to HTB Live. Quickly as well, if you don't know, like I said, it's a Rugby League World Cup edition. So basically, I'm going to be focusing primarily on Pool D. And with that being said, it is all things international rugby league. I'm going to be quickly just reading through the comments as well. Fanatics, how you going? CJ Moxley, how are you? Topal, Torsam of England. I'll get to that when I do the Pool A stuff as well. CJ Moxley. Yep, that's it. Absolutely. Anyway, welcome, guys. And again, hope you're well. We'll get straight into it, though. But just quickly as well, thankfully, for my sake anyway, Wales announced their Rugby League World Cup squad yesterday. And I think literally about 5 or 6 hours ago, Cook Islands, Tonga, announced their squad as well. So it made it a lot more easy for me to talk about their squad, because if they didn't announce their squad, it would have been me basically going off their, most recent games, basically. So thankfully, I'm able to, to talk about it. In saying that as well, follow my Instagram page as well. I've got updates on all things rugby league there, giving guys squads, my thoughts on them. And I suppose I'm going to be continuously, giving you guys more information on the Rugby League World Cup and their teams as things sort of get underway. In saying that, it is what it is, and I'm looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's start. So in Pool D, right, we all know the intensity of the pools, right, and the significance of why they're there. Obviously, you sort of play games in hopes to, make it out of the pool stages. So for Pool D, fittingly enough, I've also coined it the Pool of Death. It's got Papua New Guinea, Wales, Cook Islands, as well as Tonga. Now, in saying that, obviously you got the three, and again, not to be disrespectful here to Wales, but obviously primarily you've got the main focus really is Papua New Guinea, right? And then you've got Cook Islands, and then you have Tonga there as well. Those are 3 nasty islands there that are going to be basically competing to reach that top 2 point. Now, in saying that, I will get into my predictions there, but I thought that I'll just let you guys know there. So that is Pool D. Now, in saying that, before I like to start as well, I'll be giving you guys a bit of information, right, on the different nations separately, so you guys get a bit of context as to what on earth I'm talking about, right? There's no point going straight into Wales, going to their squad. We don't know much about them and their background and why they even made it into the Rugby League World Cup, right? So, yeah, all right, yeah. Yo, HTB is the World Cup draw. Yes, it is. CJ Moxley. I can actually technically read it to you guys literally from first game to the last game of the pool games, but I'll leave that for a separate video. But yes, I do have the stats there. All right, guys. So the first nation here is Wales. They also coined the Dragons. If you guys don't know, the Welsh national flag has a dragon on it. Basically, they're ranked 23rd in the world, so obviously very low. In context, a lot of things, right? Rugby league, they generally wear red, right? The flag behind me is not a Welsh flag; that's a Tongan flag. So their first international game, Wales' first international game, was in 1908, the 1st of January, mind you, 1908, against New Zealand, in which Wales won it by 1 point, beating New Zealand 8 points to 9. And just letting you guys know as well, Wales, if you did not know, actually the 3rd oldest international rugby league nation in the world, after England. So England was first, New Zealand, and then Wales. So they've got a deep bit of a history there that I think a lot of people don't know, understand, or have not been taught when it comes to Welsh Rugby League. So again, just a bit of context there for you guys. Their biggest win was against United States in Philadelphia in 1995, and that was beating America 4 points to 92, right? And their biggest defeat came at the hands of Wales, losing 74 points to 0 in Doncaster, England in 2008. And now Wales as well. I'm not sure if you guys know, but this will be their 6th World Cup appearance. Wales have actually competed in 5 previous World Cups. The first one dating back to 1975. That is right, 1975. So again, the how do I say this? They've been around. You know, they're no stranger to these big events. Unfortunately, though, Wales competing with rugby union has always been, I think, one of the bigger, I suppose, enemies for them. It is what it is there. But yeah, in saying that, their best results as well in the World Cup come from '95 as well as 2000, both times being in the semi-finals. Now, in saying that, so that's basically how they came to be, and that's just, I suppose, that's just a little bit of run-of-the-mill sort of I guess, introduction there to you guys, you know, about Wales. Again, they actually sort of competed in the European Cup, beating Ireland as well. They've been Ireland. They usually face Ireland, France. Again, not too many other nations there, but that is how they got into it. Yeah. So that is Wales there for you guys. Now, the second team we'll be looking at is the Cook Islands, Kuki Airani. So Cook Islands, also coined also named the Cookies. They're currently ranked 20th in the world, right? They've competed in 2 Rugby League World Cups from 2000 as well as 2013. I'm not sure if you guys can remember the game where they had against Tonga, where they actually sort of pushed Tonga right to the end there. I remember watching that game there too, and I was a bit surprised, and I suppose not surprised too. But that's the Cook Islands for you. They can, tip the scale, so to speak, if you give them a chance to. All right, here we go. Semi Souza says, Wales almost like South Africa, where union is king despite being one of the oldest league playing nation. Yeah, that's right. And SA2, which I might get into another video, have a very sort of rich history South Africa does with rugby league. But again, that evil cousin, good rugby union. No, I could. All right. Sorry, guys. So more facts on Cook Islands as well. And basically in 90, so basically there, I'm not sure if you guys know, but their debut was actually in 1986. That was their first international. That was against Niue, in which Cook Islands won 22 points to 8. The biggest win actually, again, ironically, came at the hands of beating South Africa in 2019. And that was also on stage to actually qualify for the Rugby League World Cup too, I believe. So they beat South Africa, and then they versed USA, and then they qualified for the Rugby League World Cup, and they won that game 66 points to 6. The biggest defeat, however, came at the hands of big brother New Zealand, losing 84 points to 10 in England Rugby League World Cup. And like I said, they've only been twice, the 2 World Cups only, 2000, 2013. So this will be their 3rd Rugby League World Cup. 3rd time's the charm. We'll have to wait and see. But Cook Islanders as well, the Cookies, don usually the green and the yellow on their jersey, attire. All right. Here we go. Papua New Guinea. And for those of you who don't know, you're going to be taught a very good lesson with the Kumuls, as they're known. So Papua New Guinea currently ranked 5th in the world. They usually don the colors of the yellow, red, as well as black, right? Their first international game was actually against England in 1975, and they lost that game 40 points to 12. The biggest win came against America, winning 64 points to 0, Port Moresby, PNG. And the biggest defeat came to big brothers, unfortunately, Australia, 82 points to 0 in Soundsville, and 2 in the year 2000. So they've actually been to 7 Rugby League World Cups. The first one was 1985. And they've actually, their best results, quarterfinals was 2000 as well as 2017. Now, I'm not sure if you guys also know, but for PNG, they're actually the only competing nation where rugby league is its national sport. That's right. Every other nation, sorry, give me 2 seconds. Every other nation's competing don't have rugby league as a national sport, except for PNG. So yeah, basically, rugby league was sort of introduced to PNG in the 40s, right? Australian soldiers. And I suppose from there, that's where it sort of grew. And obviously, again, their love and passion of the game grew. And that's the reason why it is their, their bread and butter, so to speak. It's their big game. And we all know how good their players are. We love watching Papua New Guinea play, don't we? It is what it is. A good team to watch. And they're always ready to bring it on, turn on the heat. And they do a good job of it as well. All right. And the last one before I get into the squad list and again, more in-depth analysis, we got Tonga. So Tonga, All right, so Tonga are currently ranked second in the world, also known as Mate Ma Tonga. They much like Wales, they wear the red and white usually. It's going to be interesting to see who wears the away color when both Tonga and Wales verse each other, but I've got a feeling Tonga will. So Tonga's first international game came against Western Samoa, in which they won 16 points to 34. The biggest win is over Tokelau, in which they won 64 points to 0 in 2006 in Auckland, New Zealand. And the biggest defeat came at the hands of New Zealand, losing 74 points to 0 in 1999. So Tonga, Mate Ma Tonga, basically they've been in 5 Rugby League World Cups from 1995. And their best result was actually semi-finals in 2017. And we all know the emotional game that was against England, where unfortunately, depends on what side of the coin you're on. Obviously, England winning that game, Fifita, unfortunately, or who knows, dropping the ball, so to speak, or maybe he didn't, I don't know. The point is the ref ruled in favor of England, and obviously it's quite controversial. Obviously, because there was such a positive and a big red wave there, going towards Tonga, and to see them sort of lose that way, it was tough. But in saying that, they definitely laid the platform for the team that we see now, right? The likes of Tamalolo, Tauke, Aho, right? And then obviously the up and coming players as well. But I'll get into that without trying to get too deep. I'm just going to be reading the comments as well. Cook Islands could make this one, pool of death. Absolutely, I agree. I'm a cookie, but I think Tonga and PNG go through. Yeah, realistically, you would think so, but you never know. That's pretty much what everyone's thinking. How you going? All right, cool. We good? Yep. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. And yes, Tonga made the Rugby League World Cup as well, but automatically qualifying, obviously making it into the semis there. Unfortunately, pipping out against England at the end there. But that, people, is the facts there about the different nations there that are competing. So without further ado, we'll get straight into the squad list. We'll give you guys my thoughts on the squads, their weaknesses, their strengths. I've done a little bit of digging, with Wales in particular. But in saying that, let's go, baby. All right. So the first squad announced was the Welsh squad here. Give me 2 seconds, and I'll read through the announcement as well of the squad. Here we go. All right, here we go. So for the Welsh side here is as follows. So you have Caleb Aikens. We all know he used to play for the Raiders. Bailey Androbus, Gavin Binion, Joe Burke, Chester Butler, Mike Butt, Connor Davies, Curtis Davies, Ben Evans, Carl Evans, Reese Evans, Will Evans. Man, there's a lot of Evans. I'll tell you what, you may as well just put Daly Cherry Evans in this team as well. Eh? Dan Fleming, Matty Fozzard, Dalton Grant, Tom Hopkins, Elliot Kerr, who also I believe is the captain, Rodri Lloyd, James Old, Ollie Olds, Josh Wealth, Lewis Roberts, Anthony Walker, as well as Reese Williams. And that makes up the contingent, the squad, the Welsh squad there. Look, in all honesty, I think a lot of people will be looking at the squad here with a whole heap of mystery. Apart from Caleb Aikens, maybe you've heard of Binion, maybe you've heard of Elliot Kerr, possibly. If not, you have no idea what on earth is going on in this Welsh squad. Right? I think that's the reality there. Caleb Aikens, obviously, to a lot of people, is the only familiar face, to be fair. But it's in it, like I said, with this Welsh squad, there's a lot of young players there. Again, players you have no idea about, but it's a young squad led by Elliot Kerr, who's played around for a bit. He's had a few caps there for Wales as well, an experienced captain, experienced fullback as well. But in saying that, I think they'll be relying a lot on their younger players to get experience. The reality is the only way you can get experience is by playing. And so teams like Wales will be, filtering through the younger players, getting as much game time as possible, feeling the brutality of what it's like to play against Papua New Guinea, Cook Islands, as well as Tonga. That's just the reality there. They're like lamb to a slaughter, I think. In terms of their strengths, well, look, again, with a squad here that play primarily, I think, a little bit in the Super League as well as championship leagues, as well as their own domestic competitions in Wales. There's not too much there you can say in terms of strengths. I think this how do I say this? They come in here very brave, right? It's about weathering the storm, I suppose. It's about taking as much hits to the face as possible, right? And trying to stand up, I suppose. I think it's the best way to sort of talk about Wales here, respectfully. It's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be easy from their forwards. Again, I've named some good players there, in the likes of Benny. You've got Ben Evans as well, and also their wings, possibly Fleming, Grant. But again, like I said, this Welsh squad, apart from Caleb Aikens, it's virtually a how do I say this? It's a welcome, to the Rugby League World Cup type thing. There's not much to sort of add there. Hang on, here we go. Just going to read some more comments. Evans team, Wales having set or bros. Yeah, that's right. That's true. Semi Souza, yes, that is true. That's the Olds brothers, as well as I believe the Davies brothers as well. So good eye there. And that concludes the Welsh squad. Now we go into this squad here, the Kuki Arani squad, also known as the Cookies. Give me 2 seconds. All right, so the squad here was announced. Give me 2 seconds, sorry. Sorry, guys. Apologies. There we go. All right, we're good. All right, we're good. All right, so the squad here was announced. So basically, I guess for mine, put down my 1 to 17 of the squad, or who I think should be in the squad. In saying that, I think it's a decent squad. It's a better squad than what they had against Samoa, to be fair. I think that game there was just more so just trying to gather as many Cook Islanders as possible and putting them on the field. That's the way I sort of felt. Where this time here, Iro, the head coach, has, I think, chosen a very experienced squad. So I'll go through my 1 to 17, and you guys can tell me your thoughts, but I'll be also analysing Cook Island's strengths as well as their weaknesses heading into this Rugby League World Cup. So without further ado, we'll get into it. So the fullback I have is Kalo Iro. The wingers are Stephen Masters as well as Paul Olberg. The centres I have are Ruben Rennie as well as Isan Masters Saivale. The halves see Brad Takairangi as well as Jonathan Thord playing. In the forward pack, in the props, you have Davey Moale as well as Tevin Arona. And in the hooker, you have Rua Tapu Ngati Kaura. Sorry. And then the second rows, you have Brendan Piakura as well as Pride Peterson Ropati. The lock is Tinidau Arona. In the reserve, in the bench side, you have Aaron Teroi, Te Pai Moeroa, Makahesi Makatoa, as well as Dylan Napa. And we all know Dylan Napa, don't we? The fiery redhead, the Kokanda redhead, a cult hero, I think, a figure. All right. Tongan PNG, imagine Harapana home. Yeah, that'll be good. All right. So, look, first and foremost, I think, how do I say this? The reality is with the Cook Island squad, they're going to rely heavily on their strengths, which is their forward pack, right? They're going to rely on their aggression. They're going to rely on some of the experienced players, right? I've named them. Brett Takairangi, we all know who he is. He's been around a lot. He's a good, decent player. You got the likes of Stephen Masters. You got the likes of Isan Masters, as I mentioned before. Brendan Piakura, we all heard of him. Upcoming Broncos player who's been playing some good footy. He was anyway when he was playing. Again, the likes of Te Pai Moeroa, we all know him. Kalo Iro as well is another player too in the NRL who's playing. Jonathan Ford, every now and then, used to play straight over in the Super League, is now playing here in Cook Island for the Cook Island team. He'll be a good player too at halfback. The reality is, for Cook Islands, I think they're going to be relying really on their heart here, right? I suppose their defense, just trying to grind it out, whatever it is. Again, and like I mentioned as well, this is the pool of death, all right? Papua New Guinea, Tonga, Cook Islands, right? And then you sprinkle Wales in there just for a bit of fun. But you get what I mean. You got the three Pacifica nations there competing for the chance to win it all. And I think, to be fair with you guys, Cook Islands, don't write them out, all right? Don't write them out. I think their weaknesses, though, obviously, is their spine. That's reality. I think their backline defensively, and even their forward pack. I mean, how do they sort of handle a continuous barrage, say, for example, against the Gumuls? against Matema Tonga, right? How do they answer that? And again, it remains to be seen, but sort of the, I suppose, predictions beforehand is they don't, but again, you just don't know. So those are my sort of questions there for them. But again, like I said, they've got a decent bench. Moiroa, Napa, as well as Makesi Makatoa coming off the bench there. I suppose you can't complain. We all know Dylan Napa's got a cheeky shoulder charge or two in him, so he might throw one or two there. Nah, jokes, but it's going to be good to see him. All right, here we go. I'm just reading some comments as well. So Semi Zoza says, Guns are like the rest of the Pacifica teams and teams of forward pack, but lacking the spine. Yeah, that's true. I feel sorry for Wales, King Alexander says. I do too. It's hard to say with Guns how they will go, but I don't see them finishing last in the pool. Nah, look, yeah, I'll get into that. It's a very spot-on observation there, Fanatics, to be fair with you. In saying that, however, we will move on to the next team, and that'll be, give me 2 seconds, Papua New Guinea. And here we go. All right. So Papua New Guinea, we all know how strong and ferocious these players can be, right? Majority of their players come from the SP Hunters, that is the Queensland Cup team. You know, they've been there before. They're a very determined pack, in my opinion. And in saying that as well, it's how do I say this? It's whoever they verse, they're going to be injured. They're going to be sore, right? This team here is going to be, without a doubt, a very hard team to verse. So basically, here is the squad here, and I'll also be naming my own 1 to 17. So here's the official Papua New Guinea squad announcement. So you have Wellington Albert, Jacob Alec, Kevin Upper, Watson Boaz, Xavier Coates, Edine Gebi, Edwin Ipape, Zev John, Alex Johnston, Lachlan Lamb, Carl Labert, Nene McDonald, Reese Martin, Sylvester Namo, Jimmy Mutuk, apologies if I butchered that one there, Justin Olam, Nixon Put, Daniel Russell, Jeremiah Simbikin, Roderick Tai, Sharon Tarnaby, Wessa Tenza, Emmanuel Wayne, as well as Mackenzie. Yeah, and that is the official Papua New Guinea Rugby League squad. Now, I was doing a bit of reading on social media as well, and apparently there's a few Papua New Guineans that are upset that Horn wasn't picked, right? And if you're watching your Papua New Guinean fan, please tell me why. Obviously, I saw it. There's actually quite a lot of Papua New Guinea fans who are actually not happy at all that Horn was not picked. So again, just trying to digest that, trying to see what they mean by that. In saying that, though, in my opinion, now without naming my 1 to 17 just yet, I think it's a decent squad. It's definitely going to be a better squad than what we saw against Australia, Prime Ministers, right? The squad here, I think, is going to have a bit more bravado about them. I think it was a good lesson, though, for players who did get picked in that game, right? It's time for, I suppose, to dust the boots off, so to speak, and I suppose do it again, but that is the team there. And so here is my 1 to 17 of the PNG team. All right. Without further ado, we'll get into it. So fullback, I have Alex Johnston. In the wings, I have Xavier Coates as well as Jimmy Ngutuk. In the centres, I have Justin Olam as well as Roderick Tai. In the halves, I have Lachlan Lamb as well as Kyle Labert. And then in the props, I have Zev John as well as Sylvester Namo. And in the hooking position, I have Wessa Tenza. The second rows for me are Daniel Russell as well as Reese Martin. And the lock is Jacob Alec. In the bench, I have Edwin Ipape, Jeremiah Simbikin, Kevin Upper, as well as Wellington Albert. And that, to me, is my preferred Kumul squad. Now, in saying that, look, the Kumuls, right? We all know what their strengths are. Their strengths are literally their heart. It's as simple as that, right? You see a Papua New Guinean put on that jersey, and that's it. You know you're in for a battle. Whether they win or lose, you know you're going to be feeling some sort of injury in your body, whether it be your spine, your back, your neck, your leg, your hand, your elbow. Somewhere, somehow, something is going to hurt, right? That's the reality here with the Papua New Guinean team. And I think that to me is a characteristic strength and something that I suppose they can hold their head up high. You know what I mean? It's a good thing to have. Now, in saying that, though, however, there's obviously weaknesses as well in this Papua New Guinean team. Obviously, I can talk with the likes of Justin Olam, who will be front and center, quite literally of this Kumul's pack. He will be the X factor player, the go-to player. The likes of Xavier Coates as well, obviously on the wing. I haven't even touched on try-scoring sensation Alex Johnston, who will of course be again just so pivotal to the attack. But I think in saying that though, that is also another one of their strengths, and maybe a strength of theirs that people may not pay too much attention to, but I have their backline. All right, be very cautious with this Papua New Guinean backline. All right, though the names aren't obviously glossy and pretty like New Zealand's, Australia's, right, even Fiji's to a degree. To be fair with you, though not pretty, it's still in my opinion anyway, a squad that can attack you from any angle, right? And a squad that can just break the line at will, particularly Olam, like I said, leading the charge there. But Xavier Coates, again, we can't underestimate this Papua New Guinean squad. Reece Martin as well adds a bit of ball playing as well. He can switch here, he can be there. He's a ball playing second row. We know what he has done before when he was playing at the Doggies, right? Edwin Ipape coming off the bench too. They've got some good strengths there. Carl Labert has been a good journeyman for Papua New Guinea. Lachlan Lamb as well, young, upcoming. Obviously, we know he used to apply his trade there over the Roosters. But again, it's a good opportunity. Now, in saying that, my weakness though for the for the PNG team. Quickly, I'm going to read some comments. Apologies. Okay. Here we go. Liam Horn is a young hooker who won back-to-back Queensland. There we go. North. That's right. Taking a spot as Wes Atenza, who's a 30. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's right. The PNG coach is accused of playing favourites or playing Wesa Tenza, who is coached in the local PNG comp. Okay. PNG and Fiji have a stacked backline. Yeah, that's right. There you go. All right. Thank you, randomizer, for that. Okay. Now I know. So that's the context there, guys. Horn, back-to-back North Devils premiership winner, young up-and-coming, and then obviously, as I mentioned before, Wesa Tenza, who is in my starting hooking position, 30 years old, playing for the Hunters, who have finished 12th. And obviously, I can hear the collective outcry of the Papua New Guinean fans, and it makes sense to me. Why would you not choose Horn? Why would you choose Wesa Tenza over Horn? Politics, possibly. Hey, but rugby league and politics, name me a more iconic duo. Anyway, I carry on. So with the PNG weaknesses, and I suppose even Australia, even though you can't take too much from that Papua New Guinean game against Australia, the PM game, you can still sort of see it. It's the defensive pressure, right? Again, the barrages, right? How do they deal with tactical play, particularly the kicking play, right? I think Australia, the Prime Minister team, did well to expose them on the kicking front. So again, how do they defend? That's one of the weaknesses there for me. Another one I have as well is the defensive side from their backs, right? Defensively, their back line. As much as I praise them for their offensive contribution, I also take a look back as well, step back, and I say, well, defensively, how do they sort of shape up? And that's a genuine question. Again, their forward pack as well. As much as we love them running with the ball, right? Because they're running to anything. I also ask the question too about their forward line in regards to the defensive end. And I think that's just my only, I suppose, general question is how they approach the tactical kicking game, right? And how they also defend against it and their general defense. Besides that, hey, if Papua New Guinea can continue to hold teams down to, again, put pressure on them defensively, there should be no issue, no worry. But obviously, if the defensive, I suppose, weaknesses show up in spades, then that's when I sort of start asking questions as well myself. So that'll be my only thing there. But overall, I am actually a big fan of this Gumo squad, and I think they'll be good to watch. And again, like I said, Pool D, right? The pool of death. Cook Islands, Tonga, Wales. We all know Gumos will be, licking their lips at the physical encounter against Cook Islands as well as Tonga. Us as fans who actually don't need to worry about getting injured by either of these teams will be stepping back, looking at this game and absolutely falling in love with rugby league. The physical side of it will be coming out all right. So that is my thoughts there on the Papua New Guinea squad. Okay. Australia had issues with favoritism. And no James Segaro. Yeah, that's right. No James Segaro. Okay, so with that is a conclusion of Papua New Guinea. And now we go into the Tongan squad here. Now, give me 2 seconds, and I'll be with you guys. All right. Okay. All right. So here is the 24-man squad, the Tongan squad here, team. Sorry, goodness, I'm going to get it up. So, Talatau Amone, Dave Fifita, Aaron Fonua Blake, Moyaki Fotoika, Siliva Havili, William Hopoate, Conrad Haru, Asea Katoa, Sione Katoa, Felice Kaufusi, Kion Kolomatangi, Tolutau Gola, Tuimoala Lolohea, Sonny Luke, Ben Murdoch Masila, Tesi Niu Haumole Olokawatu, Will Benesini, Moses Sulu, Sio Sifa Talakai, Devita Tatola, Sio Siwa, Tauke Aho, Jason Tamalolo, as well as Daniel Dubois. And that is the Tongan Matema Tonga squad there for you guys. Now, we all know, I suppose, much like PNG, physical team, very physical. Matema Tonga are obviously aiming high. Obviously, every other team is, but they've got ambitions here to obviously try and lift up the trophy there. Now, we all know, I touched on the history before, the last World Cup there, licking their wounds, ready again to have another shot there at redemption. And in saying that, I've also sort of, how do I say this? When I look at this squad here, right, and I suppose I won't touch on their weaknesses and strengths just yet. It's a squad to me that I think, could possibly do some damage, possibly. Again, you just have to wait and see, but there is a possibility there. And I'll also be naming my 1 to 17 very, very soon with you guys. Just going to be reading the comments here. Olam, Coach Johnson, dangerous, speed and power. Yeah, absolutely. PNG will be absolutely a powerful unit of a team. Now, Tonga, right? So we Matema Tonga, we got the number 1 to 17, and here's my choice as well for the squad. So ready? Let's get into it. So at fullback, I'll have Will Hopoate. At the wings, I'll have Daniel Tupou as well as Tolutau Koula. The centers I have is Conrad Harrell as well as Moses Suli. In the halves, I'll have is Talatau Amone as well as Tuimoala Lolohea. And at the prop positions, I'll have Aaron Fonua Blake as well as Moyaki Fotoika. At the hooking position, I have Siliva Havili. Now at the second rows, I have Kion Kolomatangi as well as Haumole Olokawatu. And at lock, I'll have Jason Taumalolo. In the bench there, I have Sonny Luke, Devita Tatola, Dan Fifita, as well as Felice Galfusi. Now we go into the strengths and weaknesses. This Tongan team, in my opinion, by far have one of the more pound for pound stronger forward packs, I think, anyway, in this competition. Obviously, the likes of Haumole Olokawatu, Kolomatangi, Taumalolo, right? Aaron Fonua Blake, just strong, big, solid dudes who just love to run into you, right? Just create havoc when they run into you. And obviously, again, off the bench there, you got the likes of Dave Fifita. For me, will definitely be the X factor, particularly against tiring teams, right? The reason why I selected the squad I did, obviously, you go for the smash, the smash and the crash early, and then when your opposition is tired, then you bring in your X factors, and then a bit of experience there as well, Fifita as well as Felice Galfusi. Now, in saying that, as much as I love the strength of the Tongan squads, particularly in the forward pack, I think they'll be dominant, very dominant. I don't see them struggling to make meters. I'll be surprised if they do. Obviously, this team here has been built around the emphasis of forward play, I think, anyway. Not to say that they've thrown completely out the spine, but the reality is, much like every other island nation there, particularly, PNG, Cook Islands, Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, and the like, the spine could probably do with a bit of work. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Now, in saying that, I've touched on their strength, right? It's going to be relentless pressure, especially offensively. Look for a lot of scoop, right? Dummy half scoops, right, in particular. And again, just looking for some of their big backs as well to do a bit of play. Now, in saying that, my weakness for them is their spine. I know I've mentioned it. Sorry, I know I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. It's all going to want to have a good, strong forward pack, and I believe in it. But obviously, again, the spine. Now, Tonga spine, if they can somehow be okay, I think that'll get them over, especially against tougher teams. But in saying that, as we saw the last time against Australia and Tonga, it wasn't too much of Tonga's spine play that got them through as much as it was just their pure, relentless forward pack, I suppose, grinding out whatever it was that Australia threw their way. So there's sort of two alternatives to play the game. The reality is you can always play the tactical game, the masterful way to play, or you can just play that grinding out game in which some teams have won just by grinding. Some teams have won by grinding. Now, it doesn't always happen. It's not the best way, and usually it doesn't work. But it happens, and there you go. And I think, I don't know, for mine, obviously, you look at their spine there, Will Hopoate, Tuimoala Lolohea, Tolota'omone, and then Siliva Havili. Not the prettiest of spines. However, in saying that, if Tonga choose to have that grinding game against good teams, anything can happen. But that is just my opinion there. That is the weakest point there. And as well as their back line in particular, obviously they've got some strike weapons, and Conrad Harrell, Moses Sully. But I think for mine, again, the team chemistry, how does it really go when the tough gets going, right? How does it really go? Again, is it fair to sort of bring out a sample there against when Tonga played New Zealand? Possibly, possibly not. Depends on where you sort of sit on the fence there. But in saying that, when the going got tough, we saw what happened there with Tonga. It was a bit hard for them to obviously sort of make moves, I suppose. And so, again, the question is, how do they sort of rectify it when things get tough there? That's the only question. But besides that, for mine, I don't mind what I sort of see there from the Tongan team in particular. And I'll just read some. And again, guys, please feel free to ask me questions. More than happy to go through it. But I'm also letting you know as well that yesterday, Fanax and myself, we did Pool C. Today, we're doing Pool D. On Thursday, myself and Sam River will be exploring Pool B. And on Saturday, if all things go well, me personally, it'll be me as well as it's Boogie looking at Pool A there with England, Samoa, France, and Greece. So again, get ready for it, guys. We are going full steam ahead, and I've got so much Rugby League Rugby League World Cup content for you guys. So get ready. Fanatic says Tonga's best chance of getting through to the semi-finals. Looking at the squad, but injury suspension could affect them. Possibly, yeah. And they're all, look, for every team, it is what it is. How Tonga plays depends on Dui Loroha playing like Halle's. Yeah, well, that's right. And again, that's sometimes the thing about having weak spines is that reliance on that one experienced player, right? They do a lot of heavy lifting, and Duimala had a game like no other, right? He played a sensational game. But yeah, that's just sort of it there for me. And again, if you have more questions, please let me know, right? Let me know. We're sort of winding up just a little bit now. All right, so if I was to pick two key matches for mine that I want to see, obviously for me, it's going to be this one here. Tonga, right, versus Papua New Guinea. All right, hang on, and I'll tell you when that game is on. So Tonga play Papua New Guinea. That is the first game of Pool D, actually. So straight off the bat, we get Tonga against Papua New Guinea. Wednesday, October 19th, that's Australian time. And I'll be hoping to watch that game. Just give me 2 seconds there. And that game will be 6 a.m. in the morning. So I'll be watching that game. Yeah, I will be watching the game, trying to make sense of everything as I try to wake up. But yes, that will be the first game for me to watch. Obviously, the reason why a physical encounter between these two teams here, right? The reality is we don't really get to see Tonga play Papua New Guinea too often. And I just think that this will be the perfect combination of just brutality, right? This is the perfect storm of brutality. It's going to be a tough game for both sides. The first game too, right? So again, no need for warm-up games against Wales. We're going straight into it. And this could, look, depending on how you sort of predict it, but this could very well be the decider to see who tops Pool D, right? Possibly, unless Kokans decide to throw a span in the works there. But that's the reality. This is what we're looking at overall there. Is this team here for mine. Like I said, yeah, it's these two teams here carry possibly the path to winning, right? Their pool. Anything can happen though, and that's why I call it the pool of death, because I just don't know. I mean, as confident as we are about, obviously, looking at Mate Matonga, and obviously, yes, I want them to go well, just discreetly. I'm not going to say it, but you know what I mean. The reality is though, Papua New Guinea and Cookans have just as much of a chance on any given night. They've got the players there, and if you're playing a physical game, you know what I mean? Physical rugby league, I think, is an even sort of a game, right? When it comes to the tactical stuff, the spine work, obviously, that's where I think nations get separated, yeah? But if you're talking about physical, just a physical slugfest, that's where I think things even up. And it sort of depends on, it sort of depends on how the teams want to play. Is it physical? Is it going to be tactical? We'll have to wait and see. But definitely that game there. And the second game, quickly, I want to read some comments. Tonga versus PNG. Now that will be for sure. Fanatics, you let me know, man. You either want to join me or I'll join you, or we'll have a yarn about it. Randomizer. The Hows need to win it for PNG against. Yeah, that's right. That's what I mean by it. How do the teams approach each other? Is PNG going to be doing a tactical approach, or they're going to be going straight for the throat? There is it going to be a physical game? Is going to be it's there's a lot of questions there, but yeah, that's right. I think Papua New Guinea's spine, in my opinion, I'll say probably just a little bit better than Tonga's spine. In all fairness, I think anyway. Or if anything, they're just about the same. But I think for mine, I'll go with the halves pairing. I think Papua New Guinea win just. Tonga versus PNG, equal sore bodies. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Tonga versus PNG is going to be fun for us, but not for them. It ain't going to be fun for those players there. Hell no. They're going to be injured. They're going to be, well, okay. In all seriousness, though, touch wood, there's no injuries, right? But that's right. Yeah, Sammy Sosa as well. Yeah, well said. I said Tonga PNG is the decider for the pool overall. That's right. Straight away, too. There's no mucking around, right? Just like Pool B's game, Australia versus Fiji. Now, I'm not saying Fiji, obviously pull the upset there, but obviously, those are the top two teams they're thinking of going through anyway. So there you go. And the next game for me as well, they actually wouldn't mind watching, is going to be, I reckon, Papua New Guinea and Cook Islands. And again, I could just talk about those three. Cook Islands and then Tonga, Cook Islands. You get my drift there. It's going to be those three teams there, basically versing each other. Again, Cook Islands, same thing as Tonga, just brutality. And I think Pool D is going to be a very, randomize it. Ewan Ipape again. Yeah, that's right. Ewan Ipape, yes, coming off the bench. Absolutely. Man, go Central. Yes, let's go Central District Roosters. Yes, absolutely. Their manly rep. You know how it is. I know how it is. Go the Roosters there. Go Central Districts. Elizabeth represent. All right. So, okay. And those are my matches there, basically. Now we come here to the last segment of my Rugby League World Cup discussion. So we have the Pool D ranking position. So what I mean by that is basically just the ladder position, right? I'm really going to go in this in depth, so please bear with me, all right? Please bear with me. Here we go. All right. So last place, I've got Wales. I don't think there's too much explanation that's needed there, right? I don't think so at all. I think that's just cut and dry. It is what it is. Wales will be, look, and again, no offense to any Welsh fans, and I mean this respectfully. It is what it is. But Wales coming into this pool here, they're not ready for this, right? They're not ready for this havoc. I feel it's a bit sad that, that they've been thrown into this pool. You think even Italy would have probably fared a little bit better. You might even have chucked in Scotland, possibly. But no, they're chucked in Wales. They're going to be last. They're last. It is what it is. I think their games against Tonga, Cook Islands, and PNG, I don't know. It's going to be ugly. I think they might probably score all up, maybe 40 points or less, all up throughout the whole tournament. Yeah, 40 points or less. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I don't think Wales, yeah. And that's just the reality. That's just, there's not too much there to say, right? Yeah, that's it. I don't know what to say there about Wales. So I've got them coming in last on the ladder there. I think for the other teams versing, though, it's about trying to get percentage wins, right? Bonus point wins, all that jazz there. Yeah. So that's just what it is. Okay. Now, third place. Now, this is this is why I call it the pool of death, because I don't know, right? The reality is, in all honesty, I think as much as I want to try and twist things around, I won't. I think I'll play it straight. I think Cook Islands coming third. In saying that, though, that is a big I think, all right? That is a big I think. Cook Islands, for me, I think will obviously win against Wales, but I think they will have very good games against Papua New Guinea and Tonga. We're talking about losing possibly by 12 points or less. It's going to be physical. It's going to be arduous. It's going to be tough. It's going to be all those words there. But I just don't think at the end, Cook Islands will have enough. How do I say it? They just won't have enough legs. right, to sort of run away with it, to get close in the end there. So for me, I've got Cook Islands coming in third. However, disclaimer, I've also got them as a team that could possibly end up finishing second. All right. Okay, disclaimer. Because like I said, Pool D for me is a pool of death. Anything can happen in this pool. And I mean anything. All right. Besides Wales, okay. Again, Wales, we love you. Thank you for being part of this competition. But you're not in the conversation. Tonga, Papua New Guinea, Cook Islands on the day have as much right as each other to actually go through the top two. I just need to emphasize that. All right. Obviously, it doesn't matter that I'm going for Tonga to win it. The point is, that's just the reality, right? On their day, anything can happen. Don't discredit when the two Pacifica nations fight each other, battle each other. There's an even battlefield on the night. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I've got Cook Islands coming in third place. In second place, now this is going to be interesting, all right? Because I don't think you can go. Could you go wrong either way? Possibly not. Obviously, in saying that, because of the Tongan squad, because of their recent performances, you've just got to back them to come first. So, in that being said, I've got Papua New Guinea coming in second. I think they'll do well against Wales. They'll do well against Cook Islands. But ultimately, at the end there, for me, I've got Cook Islands, PNG there coming in second place. Their game against Tonga, obviously the decider to who comes first. I think it'll be an absolute arm wrestle. I think it will be. I think it'll be tough. I think it'll be, as strong as any other rugby league game you see. It doesn't have to be just Origin, just any tough slugfest of a game. And I think they'll push them right to the end. But I think Tonga just might have enough to pip them. Now, again, I must strongly say this as well. Just because I said it does not mean Papua New Guinea don't have a chance of coming first. All right. I said it with Cook Islands and I'll say it again. And the same with Tonga as well. All these three Pacific nations have as much chance of coming first and second. Right. That's just the reality. This is definitely the pool of death. Anything can happen. But obviously, yeah, that's just the way I see it. Now, in first place, I've got Tonga. I think Tonga will win comfortably against Wales. Again, grinding games against Cook Islands. And obviously an absolute arm wrestle, a physical encounter with Papua New Guinea. But I think Tonga do well just to stay there, right, and win. So that's the rank there. Again, I think Tonga's forward packs, again, will be the main attributor, much like Papua New Guinea. But that's how I have it. Tonga first, Papua New Guinea second, Cook Islands third, and then Wales in the fourth place. Now, in saying that, like I said, I'm not going to say it again, but I will say it one more time. Please hear me out. Anything can happen. I am actually very much in the fence, sitting on the fence here, really. Realistically, it's I don't know. I mean, on paper, sure, but just because a team on paper looks like this doesn't mean they're going to play like that. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Like I said, especially when the Pacific teams play each other, throw form out the window. You know what I mean? Throw form out the window. You know what I mean? It's just smash, bash, and hammer time. And that's exactly what I'm expecting here in this Pool D, which I've coined the Pool of Death. Pool of Death. Pool D. But yeah, that is my rankings there. I'm going to be reading through the comments. All right. After what your puppet did against Great Britain Lions and POM, he'll definitely be snipping around. He will. My notification let me down. I was hoping to catch it when it started. Hey, how are you going? Tyson Frizzell. Yeah, that's right. It would have been good to see him. Hakan's got any new recruitment since the Pacific Test? If not, PNG easily second. Oh, look, I think so. Just quickly as well, with Cook Islands, they got Ford. One of their players, their last name is Ford. They got him back there. I think their halves will be a lot better. Their spine generally better. Look, and saying that though, they do have a few NR players. But yeah, look, and saying that, we'll just have to see. That's why I'm excited on how this pool plays out with the three Pacific teams here. Some of those will be too much of the Kumals. I had to wait and see. Great job, bro. Nice preview. The Pool D is scary. Awesome as. And guys, I want to be concluding as well, just quickly. And that is my prediction there. I've got Tonga coming in first, PNG second, Cook Islands third, and then Wales fourth there. Thank you, Wales. We love you. Thank you for being part of this. But yeah, anyway. But honestly, I don't know. This particular pool here, I think, is probably going to be the pool to watch. I think out of all the pools, right, that includes A, B, and C, obviously. I just think the potential upsets, the battles, Pacifica Rugby League, is where it's at. All right, Tonga versus Papua New Guinea, Tonga versus Cook Islands, Cook Islands versus Papua New Guinea. It's, come on, you know what I mean? The story writes itself. So in saying that, that is me there, done for there. Anyway, guys, if you're new, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Please spread, share my videos. Follow me, Hold the Ball on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. More rugby league content coming as well today, tomorrow, Thursday, and more lives as well. A lot of watching rugby league live, the World Cup live as well. Obviously, I'll be watching the Tonga PNG game, England Samoa. Do my best to get to it. So join me, follow me for that. Rugby League World Cup, baby. It's the best thing about rugby league, in my honest opinion. It's the greatest of greats. Right? That's it. That's all you want to do is play for your nation. Right? Greater than anything, in my opinion. Anyway, that is me there, done for now. Give me your thoughts in the comments as well. Share my videos. Thank you again. Bless you all. A bit of fun. We'll do this again next time. See me on Thursday there with Sam Rivel as we dissect Pool B. That'll have Australia, Fiji, Italy, as well as Scotland. And I'm sure there'll be some interesting debates there and yarns, squads and all that stuff there. So I'll see you guys there. Anyway, take it easy. See you guys next time. And if you want your team to win, what do they have to do? Hold the ball. Take it easy. See you guys next time. Bless you guys.